What you are listening to is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in the squared circle. Both parties have agreed to dismiss their cases and have their disputes settled here in our forum, the Turnbuckle Debate.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Turnbuckle Debate. My name is Sneed.
I'm Chad.
I'm Tom, the OG Fit Kid, the staple of the Turnbuckle Debate.
I'm Mike Belcaster. Yeah, it's been a while, boys.
It's been a while since you've been on the debate, Mike.
Yeah,
Wow.
it has been a while.
It's been I can tell you right now, the last time Mike was on. Mike was last on episode 63.
Wow.
This is episode 82, so almost
20 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Almost half a year. You must not be liked here, Mike.
Jesus, no, I'm too like, yeah, man, that's cool.
He was running him ragged for a minute because he was on episodes 61 through 63, 50, 52, 56, 49. So it's like, let's give Mike a break.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see. You used up all your appearances in a matter of a couple of months.
Yeah, you had a good track record there, you know.
I feel like it's kind of crazy to have the four of us on, though.
It is crazy to have the four of us on.
I don't know if it's been I guess since then, man.
Yeah.
So what's been going on? I know you had a busy week, Mike.
Man, Vegas was fucking wild. And as it should be, it's Vegas, but like, I had the best time of my life hanging out with the Jazzwares team over at, the AEW Jazzwares team. We killed it. We crushed it. We did the Fan Fest. They welcomed me in their gracious, loving arms to come hang out and, cover everything under the Turnbuckle Tavern umbrella. It was great, man. And all good dudes. I had such a blast. I met the legends, Bill McKenna, Jeremy Padower. I was in like the high suites. I don't know what the hell happened. I did not belong there at all.
you were rubbing shoulders in the high council of the fig world.
Yeah, man. It was uncomfortable. We did some Cabbage Patch doll sacrificings, and it was great, man.
Little Fortnite figure burning.
Yeah, we did the dances while we were burning it. One of us. One of us.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
it was a lot of good content. I know you guys had fun on the Fig Night reveals that we did. That was a lot of fun, man.
There was a lot of good content this weekend. I mean, the Fan Fest stuff with Fig Night, you guys crushed it. Mike coming in live from that, Nick and Tom holding it down in the studio. It was a lot of fun. The watch along Young Anthony did.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a 6-hour and 50-minute video on YouTube.
That's wild. It's so crazy.
Because we hung out on there for a couple hours after the show even went off air. So that it was people popping in and out the whole night. It was fun. Go check out all that stuff. And Fig Night had just had My Damn Toys on, and that was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, the kid was awesome. Fucking really smart. Got honed into his action figure shit, which I love to see, love to hear. Huge following too. You see why he's very passionate about his job, his life, and all that stuff. So like, it's good to see other people out there in the collector world that they're just like me and fucking Tom. We're just crazy bastards that collect.
Fun time to be a figure collector, a wrestling fan, everything coming together.
Yeah.
And if you're not checking out Fig Night, make sure you do. There's some great fun stuff coming up as well.
Yeah.
The one thing that he said on Fig Night, and you guys kind of talked about that, I was like, I do not agree, is he didn't care for the Kenny Omega trunks pants on the Supreme figure, and that is one of my favorite outfits from Kenny Omega, was that black and silver. I love the gear for that figure.
Yeah, no, I was burnt out. I was in no place to argue with anybody. I was like, sure, kid, like you got it, man. Whatever.
I think it looks fine. I'm excited.
Yeah.
That figure is amazing.
I even got my own one of one tops Mike Belcaster
That's awesome.
trading card, man.
Yeah, not top.
You need to get some of the
There you go.
stickers that they do the autos for. You need to autograph and do a little sticker.
Oh hell yeah!
I
In the
think-
making, I like
We might
it.
need some tavern cards made up at some point.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I might know a company that can do it.
We'll have to check the petty cash fund.
Yeah.
right.
Hawk used it all.
Yeah, Hockey used the petty cash fund for his new car. that he
Yeah,
had to
we
buy in Vegas.
We still got to get the magnet that goes on the side of the logo of Turnbuckle Tavern.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
At
It was paid for out of the petty cash.
least he got his MJF refund.
His whole car wrapped in a turnbuckle tag.
yeah, get it wrapped.
That'd be a good prank.
But the front of it's got to get wine lips. You got to put the wine lips on the front of
On
the
the front
car.
of the grill, yeah.
And he needs a special plate that says Magoo.
Magoo.
All right, fellas, we can sit here and talk all night, but we know why the hell we're here. We're here to do some debating. We got 3 new topics to debate. Are you guys ready to get down to it?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Wait,
All
let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. This guy right here has been running the debate for fucking 43 months. He beat CM Punk. He beat Daniel Garcia is the best wrestler in the world. Let's fucking go.
I love it. Let's do it.
We need that as a drop, too.
yeah, you do need that as a drop.
Yeah. All right, guys, here we go. First topic of the night. Was Hangman Adam Page a traditional champ and transitional champ and rank him among the other champions' reigns in AEW? And we're talking AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
I mean, just because he was the shortest champ in AEW history doesn't make him transitional to me. He beat Bryan Danielson twice. He beat Lance Archer. He's had some other matches. I can't transitional champ is usually a month or two. He had a good run. As far as rating it, that's a tough one.
And he's not the shortest reign.
No, he was 6 months.
Jericho only had it for 182 days.
That's funny. It's crazy.
What was
right?
Hangman's? What did he end up with?
Hangman was at 197 days.
Okay, so very close. See, I mean, that's like saying you could then say was Jericho a transitional champ, even though he was the first. I don't think so. I say no.
So you say no, he wasn't a transitional champion. What would you rank him among the other champions?
Wow. Well, without a doubt, I'm putting Omega's run first.
Yeah.
And then I got to go Mox. And then somewhere him and Jericho are so close. I'll put them both third, tied for third.
That's fair.
I loved Hangman as champ, and he's going to get another run. He's not done. That wasn't his last title run.
Nah, it's a baby.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
baby.
He was born in 91. He's a baby.
A baby. And he was just a little baby. You know what? I'm going to go. I don't know. He was. I don't think he was transitional. I think he kind of came out there and laid his stakes, did his thing. He really made me fall in love with him later on into the run, which is cool because he didn't wrestle a lot during this. He only had a handful of matches underneath the championship reign, and a lot of them weren't championship matches. So it's a hard balance thing. But if I'm gonna rank them, I'm going Kenny, Jericho, just because Jericho was the inaugural dude. He was the one that led the path. Mox, and then Hangman. I think Hangman's going to kind of be the guy. He'll be the first one to do it twice. I think his title reign was cut short on purpose. I don't think it was a bad thing. I think he's a young kid. He's got plenty of years. If you were going to change the title and give it to CM Punk, it's with Punk, it's a now or never thing. We don't know how long Punk's got in his gas tank. So I'd rather see it happen now and then never happen. You know what I mean? So there's that kind of balance of it all. But yeah.
What do you think, Sneed?
I wouldn't call him a transitional champ. I mean, he came in, he had bouts with Danielson. He beat Adam Cole twice.
Yeah.
I think that in itself kind of, for me, solidified why I don't think he was transitional. Was those two. I think because I thought that after the first time that when they came out and were going to do the match again, I thought there's no way Adam Cole doesn't beat him for the championship right then.
Yeah.
And he comes out, hits the dead eye through the table, gets him on Night of Champions, or was it Night of Champions? Yeah.
Battle of the Belts.
Yeah. And
That was
I think that right there is what for me, I don't think that he's a transitional champ. Now, as far as ranking them, I'm with Mike. I go Omega, Jericho, Mox, then Hangman.
Yeah, that Battle of the Belts match, I think, was my favorite match in Hangman's title reign. Like, I really felt like, God damn, I love this guy.
It was Rampage.
Was it Rampage? Oh,
Yeah,
it was Rampage.
it was Rampage.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So that
The
match,
first
though,
match was Revolution, and then they had the rematch at Rampage.
yeah,
He had a total of 7 title defenses from when he won the title,
crazy.
losing the 7th one. So yeah, he beat, like we said, Bryan Danielson twice. Then he fought what was the next one? Lance Archer in a Texas Death Match.
Yeah.
Then he
Fun matches.
Adam Cole, then Dante Martin, and Adam Cole again, and then CM Punk. So that was his
And
run.
he beat Omega, obviously, to win the title.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
in some ways, it's a pretty underrated run when you consider he had the first and only 60-minute time limit draw match on Dynamite at Winter is Coming.
Yeah.
He beats Omega after a legendary run, Omega's legendary run. He had two Texas Death matches, one with Lance Archer, one with Adam Cole. The Dante Martin was kind of just like a
match.
a bonus match. But I would say first I'll rank him. I think Hangman is at the bottom. I would say number 1, Kenny Omega. That run, that's the best world heavyweight run they've had. I think number 2, definitely Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Not only just because he was the inaugural, but dude, when Jericho had that title, when he was Le Champion, people forget how good that was. The feud with Cody, the feud with Mox, that whole program with Jericho having the title was great.
Yeah.
Mox was really, really good too. I think he did suffer because he wanted it at Revolution 2020, and then the pandemic hit. So he was a pandemic champion. Then I'd have Hangman at the bottom. But with him being the question, is Hangman a transitional champion? If you really, really want to boil it down, I would say AEW hasn't had a transitional champion in their heavyweight division just based off of the reigns. I feel like everyone has had a pretty solid reign. But on the other hand, I'm going to say he is a transitional champion for this fact. Out of all the world champions that we've seen, he by far got the least amount of main event week to week story.
For sure. Absolutely.
Very true, man.
And I think that was an issue. That issue arose because right at the height of his run, they signed all of these new people.
Yeah.
Well, early on, Jericho was carrying those early shows because their roster was pretty thin in the beginning. Then Mox, they pushed him to the moon. Kenny Omega was the featured almost every week. His segment was the segment to watch. Him, the Bucks, Don Callis.
Yeah.
And with Hangman, I feel like I don't know if it's the curse of being a young champion, like being a young guy in the business and not being as seasoned as Jericho, Omega, and Moxley, but it just felt like they weren't putting an emphasis on that world title like they were the other champions. So just because of that, I'm going to say he was a transitional champion.
And on top of that, he was the first one that's just super babyface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
it was traditional super babyface.
Yeah.
Because even Mox was like he was the anti-hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it definitely felt a little lackluster.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That Rampage match was the first time I was behind Hangman. I was like, oh shit, this is a good champion, man. And it took that long. I mean, that wasn't that long ago. So it was crazy that, it took until the crown of thorns were placed on Adam Cole's head to make you believe in the goddamn champion that Adam Page was.
I also love that little edge he started to get over the last month. Like he got a little edgier. with his
best promo work he's been doing.
The promos with that were he was on fire, man.
Yeah,
I don't think being I know all of you guys are saying he wasn't a transitional champion, but just to back up like my viewpoint of him being a transitional champion, I don't think that's necessarily always a bad thing. Wrestling needs those champions sometimes. Not everyone can have these big long reigns, or it kind of takes away meaning. You know what I mean? Like, and it takes away the unpredictability of booking. If we come to know that every time we get a champion, they're going to hold it for 6 months, then that means in those big title matches, there's no what if, we're just, he hasn't held it that long. They're just going to let him, he's going to win because he hasn't. I can't wait till they have that champion who wins it and loses it in 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it too.
Be a shocker. Like, oh my God, he's already lost. And the fact that they've built such a good reputation with the way their world title reigns go, I think that helps them pull the trigger on a shocking short reign and us not shit on it as hard as a company that has. You can't hate on WWE for doing that a lot because they've been around so long. Like you can't keep with one formula. You can't keep long reign, and you can't just play hot potato with the title either. So I think WWE, you can't really criticize them just because of the time the company's been around. But man, I'm excited for the possibility of a short title reign in the future.
Yeah,
I am too. I want him to handle that short title reign better than they are the short title reigns of the TNT champion. Because right now, I don't think that they're doing a good job of the short title reigns with those.
Well, the short title reigns of the TNT championship, I feel like the main feeling, like if one, the Pee Wee Herman word of the day that pops in my head when I think TNT champion here lately is confusion.
Yeah.
It's like they're changing titles based off of confusion. Like they don't know where they're wanting to go. They're having to revert course and change things on the fly, where the beauty of the world title, it does feel like there's always been a plan in place. Like they know where they're going with it.
Yeah.
It used to feel like that with the TNT title as well, but the last 6 months or so, it's kind of up in the air and feels weird. But I was actually just doing some research as we were chatting here and looking at all the defenses, and a lot of people say, Hangman didn't defend his title nearly as much as other people. But looking at the numbers, if you look at it on average, he defended it more than anyone. Jericho only defended his title 5 times, which is weird. I didn't realize it was that few.
But to counter that, Jericho, sometimes title defenses kind of like become a part of, like, get spotlighted when there's not story. Jericho was telling story week to week where he didn't have to defend the title as much, but the fact that Hangman wasn't tied up in story as much as Jericho week to week, it made the fact that he didn't defend it that much way more like glaring.
Yeah.
How many times do you guys think Omega defended the title while he was champion?
Say that again, Tom. You kind of broke up.
How many times do you think Kenny Omega defended the title as champion?
I'd say
Couldn't have been that many.
6 to 8.
7.
Yeah.
Pretty damn spot on there. What about Mox?
4.
Well, I was going to say 4.
We'll say 6.
10 for Mox.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yeah.
He wrestled a lot on Dynamite.
See, but that's the thing.
did.
It goes back to the story. The story.
And that was also the pandemic era where they could use him on TV because there wasn't much else going on.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
it's apples and oranges, man, when you compare title reigns. Like so many things. You had a pandemic champion, you had this inaugural champion with a very light roster, you had Omega, who had this great story and was really getting beat up, and we forget the whole time he's defending the AEW championship, that fucker's defending the Impact championship too. He's defending the AAA championship, so he was working his ass off. And then you have Hangman, who is kind of the first champion we've had that's just the champion.
Yeah.
Because Omega had other belts he had to handle. Jericho, the inaugural, it was kind of, things going on there, new company getting their feet under them. The pandemic. So as far as a guy just being a week-to-week champion, no outside bullshit, Hangman's like the first true one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
true.
absolutely.
Not to say I didn't like his run. I think I did enjoy his run though.
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was great. And it got better as time went on.
I was gonna say, I think he came into his own as this run went on. Like he really seemed to find himself.
It's gonna help him a lot when he has his next title.
That's
run.
exactly what I was going to say, Steve.
100%.
Great point by you saying that, Tom, is it's going to help him, because to me, it seemed like in the last 2 months, he was really getting on fire and getting truly confident and comfortable being the champion.
Yeah.
So for him to kind of like double back and get that title again, I think it's going to be an even better second run.
Exactly. And look at the leading up to it, I think is going to be fun. More fun than the first time, because he's going to have a different fire in his eyes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have any final thoughts before we move on to our next topic?
I'll just say there hasn't been an AEW championship reign that I haven't been content with yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
All right. So our next topic of the evening, Tom, this is your topic. Is AEW playing with fire by having so many tweeners, as in people going between babyface and heel?
So, Tom, I have one question for you.
Sure.
What made you pose this question, and who were the glaring examples that made this pop into your mind?
I mean, Sammy Guevara, the way they're kind of trying to play him back and forth, and then you have Dan Lambert, Ethan Page,
that whole storyline.
That whole story.
Everyone involved in that.
Everybody there.
Even talking Hangman Page, how some of his promos working with Punk almost seemed kind of heelish, and then Punk was going back and forth. It's like, let's pick a side, guys. It just seems weird that there's so many of them right now, and I don't know why they don't like Lambert and the Men of the Year. They should be heels. Sammy Guevara right now is hated. You got to play him up as a heel. Stop letting them walk the line. It's confusing. I don't think it does serve any purpose to stories when they do that.
Yeah, I think that the reason why they had to do that, though, is because you had these two. You had the Lambert and Men of the Year heel faction, and then you had Sammy, who just rocketed off as the heel, with the Tay Conte stuff. So, like, somebody's got to be a face there. You can't have heel and make fucking money. But I feel like Lambert, Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, they all kind of have that. They could play that double-sided card better than a Sammy can, in my opinion. So I think like Lambert kind of came into his own. They were getting good fucking cheers for a while. It made sense story-wise to have do that. But the match, it was what it was. It wasn't terrible, but it was just like they could have been so much better, I think, if they fucking honed in on their space. I don't know. It was weird.
Dan Lambert makes such a good heel. That guy should never be face.
Well, here's my thing with that whole situation, though. It's like, I don't think that is it'd be one thing if they were booking them as tweeners. I think that situation kind of took on a life of its own. Like Sammy was an uber skyrocketing babyface tied up with those guys. And then all of a sudden Tony stuck tie with him, and he was probably expecting one thing, which if you look at the history of couples being together on TV outside of Macho Man and Elizabeth, it doesn't fucking go well. No. So instantly he gets mega heat. And I think the whole tweener situation with that whole storyline and everyone involved, Dan Lambert, Scorpio, Kaz, all of the people involved in that, I think it was more of a trying to find their way out and get those guys apart from each other outside of just doing a WWE thing and killing the angle dead without explanation. I'm glad they tried to work their way out, but the road to get out of that storyline was very fucking messy. And there was like hot potato title changes. There was people being heels that shouldn't have been. There was forced babyface shit that should have just been turned. So I don't really hate on the tweener aspect of that. I don't think.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't booked that way, out of the gate. You know what I mean?
No. And I'll say too, you mentioned Hangman. I didn't hate the way his promos went, and it all kind of made sense with the last promo they cut before going into Double or Nothing, when he said he wasn't protecting him from the championship, he was protecting from AEW.
Yeah.
He was protecting Punk from AEW. So it was like he still kind of kept that hero, trying to be the hero.
To me, it just came across as real.
Yeah.
Like these were the real opinions of both of these guys.
Yeah.
And some of their opinions in certain circumstances came off heelish, and others came off. I like that they put two. It was a smart way to book two baby faces against each other, I thought.
Yeah. And I think Paige did a great job kind of like handling it. That's what made it. I mean, that line, I'm protecting you or AEW, you know, like doing that. That's the ultimate babyface move
from you.
Yeah. Like, fuck that. Like, get the fuck out of here. And then like Punk's like, whoa, come on, man. Like, you know, but
well,
I think
love what he brought in those promos, and I hope that's what he continues to bring every single week.
I can't wait to see who he works with next. Hangman coming out of a title reign. Like what are they going to put him in? I have a question for you guys though, with this whole tweener conversation. When I look at guys like the Acclaimed, they're heels. You know, they're supposed to be heels. They do heelish shit, but a lot of the crowd loves them. When Max, when he comes out, people pop for that shit. Technically, by definition, that would make them a tweener. But is that the crowd not buying into it's so hard to be a heel. You know what I mean? Like it's so hard to get true heat and a fan base not cheer the bad guy. Because when you're doing bad shit, it's fun to watch. Look at Jericho. I mean, he's one of the most entertaining people on TV. He's a heel, but we love to we're entertained by him. Pure hated heels are so fucking rare today. Like even MJF, we're entertained by him. Back in the day before kayfabe was broken, everything, heels were people hated those fucking dudes. So I think the whole true heel, I don't think really exists anymore. Back in the day, you wouldn't hear someone say, "Oh, I love to hate him." You would just hate him. You wouldn't want to see him on your TV. You would want him to get his ass kicked. MJF is very, very close to that. He's the closest thing we have.
The closest thing we've seen in 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
But so I'm kind of I don't know if tweener is always a hard thing for me, because what makes the tweener? Is it the booking or is it the fans' reaction to the booking? You know, like Acclaimed, they're kind of booked like a heel, but they get positive crowd response. Does
they're
that
lovable?
Make them exactly.
Some of the biggest faces in wrestling history, especially over the last 20 years, was supposed to be heel run. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was supposed to be a heel, turned into the most popular thing WWE ever had.
The Rock,
Becky Lynch, when she was good.
The Rock was a shithead in the beginning with Nation of Domination. People got behind him.
Becky
Roman
Lynch was supposed to be a
today.
heel. And she attacked Charlotte with the kendo stick, and all of a sudden people pop for that and the way she started acting. So sometimes when it comes across, when the fans receive it differently, go with it and let them lead into being a fans, because why wouldn't you give the fans what they want when they're the ones paying for the merchandise and tuning into your stuff?
Well,
and I think that's just a natural blueprint of pro wrestling today. Is the greatest way to make a uber babyface is to have him be a cool kick-ass fucking heel.
Yeah.
Like you take a cool kick-ass heel and it's easier for them to transition into a babyface.
Look what happened to FTR.
Yep.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Perfect example.
I don't think you could throw the Acclaimed out there as good guys. You know, they lose all their thunder. They can't be doing the raps. They can't be doing
you can't diss against somebody. Yeah.
You just let them be them, and whatever happens from it. I wouldn't call them tweeners. I think it's just we're just receptive differently. If anything, we're the tweeners, because we're
this is tweeners.
And that's I mean, there's your biggest fucking tweeners. There is the fan base. They're trying to give you a good roadmap, and I'm talking like an Italian over here. But,
but great point though. It is the fans more than anything.
No, and it goes for both shows. WWE, like, you know, they can't make their, you know, respect your tribal chief. We fucking hate Roman Reigns, but he's so good, and he's the guy. Like, it's just,
you know what's funny?
Get your
the
shit
only
together.
the only time you see true fucking heat is with force-fed baby faces that the fans despise.
Yeah.
Think of that Rumble when Roman won and Rock comes in to try and, like, was it Rumble, right? When Rock,
there was a Rumble in Philadelphia, I believe.
Dude, the fans wanted to take that guy's head off, but it wasn't by the booking, or it wasn't by the design to have that reaction. It was by the failing of the design that the fans revolted, and it got true heat. But I guess you could call that go away heat, but still.
Yeah. And they tried so hard to make Roman the biggest face in that company, and the way they got people to cheer him is by making him a heel. So
yeah,
I'll tell you the people I like, the heat that the heel work that they're doing right now. Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal.
Yeah,
that's good.
Awesome
old
shit.
school booking.
They're doing really good old school heel work right now.
It's so simple.
Yeah,
it's such a simple formula, and Jay Lethal is like such an underrated bad guy, man. I know everyone thinks machismo and all that, but like, he's a good bad guy. And another thing, Ricky Starks, Team Taz.
God,
that's a heel faction. People love Ricky Starks. Like,
they do. Yeah.
So it is interesting, man, like to really go down the card. I think of, you know, we just got through talking about Kenny Omega's run, the Elite during that with Don Callis and the Bucks. Like, the Bucks I love the Bucks when they are bad.
Yeah.
I don't like babyface Bucks.
Yeah.
When they're bad, they're the best.
My first exposure to the Bucks was when AEW first debuted, and I'm like, what do people love these guys for? And then they joined the Elite, and I'm like, holy shit, these
Hawk
guys
said
are
the same thing.
Awesome. So,
yeah, Hawk said the same. He hated the Bucks, and then when they turned heel, he's fucking dressing like him and buying meet and greets.
You know, he calls himself Nat Jackson.
Nat Jackson. The Stoner Jackson brother.
The Stoner Jackson brother.
I love it, man. Absolutely love it.
It's a great picture too. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on our
go on our Instagram
page.
We need stickers of that. That's what we need to get.
Yeah,
Hawk came over to the giant Kenny Omega display box. Yeah. He's like, "Hey man, you want to take my picture?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, buddy." And he's like, "Cool." And he gets inside and he pulls a joint out, sticks it in his mouth, and he's like, and I was like, "Are you fucking?" He's like, "It's lit, man. It's cool." And I was like,
"It's legal in Vegas. What are they gonna do?"
It was the best. It was the greatest. It was the best Hawk move ever.
Sounds about right.
Is there anybody else that would fall under the quote unquote tweener category in AEW that we're forgetting to talk about?
I mean, you could mention Ruby at this point. She came out in hot baby face, and now she's getting booed for no other reason than being Ruby Riot. You know, Ruby Soho. Like, it's
Britt.
Britt,
100%.
Britt Baker.
Britt Baker's.
What about Jade?
Jade is starting to teeter into, like, people are starting to like her. Like, people are really starting to, like, cheer. Not that they didn't like her, but, you know, they're starting to give her kind of that baby face response a little bit.
Yeah, she's fucking over now.
You know, we're kind of missing another one here. Somebody who's supposed to come in as a heel, Malachi Black in the House of Black.
Yeah.
What side are they on? They're fighting, you know, Death Triangle, but they're still loved.
Malachi Black's program with Cody pretty much solidified Cody packing his bags and fucking leaving. He was supposed to be the bad guy, and no one wanted to cheer that dude because they loved Malachi.
Yeah, which put Malachi up here too, because like it made him even more likable. Because like, yeah, fuck Cody, man, kill him, kill him.
Yeah,
fucking go.
Another guy we haven't even seen in a while, but I think he kind of teeters on it too, is Miro.
Yeah,
he's this big evil bad guy, but people love it.
Yeah,
how could you
people
not?
Are clamoring for Miro to come back, man. Like it's been ridiculous. Kingston was supposed to be a bad guy, but he's too lovable. Like, you know, there's no way around that. He comes out, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna light fucking Jericho on fire." It's like, yeah, let's do it.
Read the original question again, Sneed.
Is AEW playing with fire by having so many tweeners?
I think they're playing with fire by not creating more concrete heels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
People that aren't cool to cheer.
Yeah.
People that aren't, because all the heels, like, there's a cool thing to them that you're like, oh, I like this guy. Like, the thing with Dan Lambert, when he first came in, he was shitting on that AEW fan base.
Yeah.
There's a lot of heels, quote unquote, in the company that I feel like play to that fan base, where imagine a Bully Ray type of person, a Jim Cornette type of ideology wrapped up in a wrestler who shits on that fan base, who attacks that fan base, even on a different type of level than MJF, not in severity so much, but just in the style they approach. You know, MJF's coming out shitting on the city he's in. He's being the ultimate bad guy, but you need other guys of that ilk that we can truly fear as a threat to what we love, the company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you need someone who is that big bad that the good guys can't take down, that is kind of ruling the roost. That's what they're in. That's where they're playing with fire to me, is there's not enough true fucking bad guys.
I've got one more thing to bring up to you guys. Perfect example of this. Bryan Danielson came in as a face. Then he kind of turned heel with the whole Hangman thing. And now he's with the Blackpool Combat Club. And at the pay-per-view this past week, you see him in the middle of the match go at it with Eddie Kingston in the middle of it. Like, where is that dude supposed to lay? Like it's so.
I think right now, I think Blackpool Combat Club in general are like anti-heroes. Like, they're good guys, but they're bad. They're badasses in their good guydom, you know?
Yeah.
You like them, but they don't want you to like them.
Right. Well, we don't care if you like us.
Like us or not, we're
run
whooping
through.
ass.
Yeah.
Makes them like you and like them more.
I just have to say that the thing I talked about with AEW having an issue with not enough bad guys, that's not an AEW centric issue. That is a pro wrestling
Universal
issue.
Yeah.
I think every company out there has a problem with true bona fide bad guys.
Yep.
It's so hard to make a guy heel right now. And that just goes back to show you how much MJF means to this company, because he is the one heel they have that's staying a heel, and they better keep that guy.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, that's a great transition.
Because that is a great transition point to our third and final topic of the evening, which is MJF's AEW friction. Is it a work or is it a shoot?
Work shoot.
Work. It's a work.
Work.
I think it's a work with that birthed itself out of little slight shoots.
Yeah.
I think he did have an issue with money. I think he did hate that guys were coming in and making so much more than him. And these are guys that would pop up here and there. And here he is, every fucking Dynamite, coming out, killing it, being in the best programs. And he's making a fifth of what they're making. I do think there was a little bit of disgruntled, like, hey man, pay me my fucking money.
But this is what I'm going to say. Suck it up, Buttercup. You signed your first contract, and use that when you go to renew your next contract.
I think a lot of it's stemming from him just being like him. I think he thought Tony would come to him and renew because he's done such great work, instead of letting his fucking contract go out. It's like an NFL team. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got a star player. You don't let that star player even get to the point of testing free agency. You sign him and extend him before that contract's up, so another team doesn't even have a shot at getting him.
Yeah.
But you don't let Dallas Cowboys were in that situation with Dak Prescott, and then they got into a big contract war over it. I think, and that's a sign of respect. An NFL team will sign a star player 2 years before the contract is up, because they have respect and faith, and it's them putting their faith in that person. And I think the disgruntled nature with MJF, I think, arose out of him feeling like he should have had an extension by now and seeing that as a lack of disrespect. But I think they've taken that behind closed doors, and Tony's like, hey, you know how you were kind of sour in that interview, kind of talking shit? Let's go with that. I'm going to give you your money, but let's go with that.
The guy still has 18 months left on his contract. Has plenty of time to renew it now.
Yeah,
Before it gets to that, like it's not going down to the wire.
He's not hurting for money. I guarantee you that.
No,
he's not out here
not letting them walk away from this company.
No. And he got a raise in the middle of all this. I don't know how much, but he did get some kind of extra pay for being good contracted. So I mean, he's in a great space because he is that guy that is the only motherfucker there that's going to be able to blur the lines. And like coming out on Dynamite, oh, they don't want me to talk about it backstage, boo-hoo. And like, and he's doing all these interviews and everybody's fucking like, what's going on here?
Double or nothing, going around the ring like a plane after the plane ride.
My favorite part when he popped up is the crowd was going, you showed up. I was like, yes, this is fantastic.
He got entering the arena the other night was worth the whole thing.
That's what it is.
That was awesome.
Listen, I said it from the second we all started talking about it, and I wish I was more vocal with you guys, but I was sitting with a group of people, and I said, this is just a ploy for people that haven't bought the pay-per-view yet to go, man, this guy's not going to show up. I want to see what this clusterfuck is going to look like. $49.99, fucking sign me up. And MJF's going, hey, Tone, hey, buddy. You see how that works? Yeah, because I'm fucking MJF and I know what I'm doing. Like, and it just rolled perfectly. And
dude, that was good for a good 10,000 buys, bare minimum.
Easily, had to have been
10,000 pay-per-view buys.
How much do you think them seeing the whole situation with Sasha and Naomi walking out led into them playing this angle at this time?
Aha, that too, man, that too. And do you guys think we're seeing a Brian Pillman situation with MJF, where do you think they have it in them to, I think we discussed this on either last debate or the debate before last, I think, where I said no one has the fucking balls to pull a work off where everyone's getting worked. Do you think we're in the middle of, do you think Tony Khan and MJF have it in them to pull a work off where even your coworkers aren't, like, for instance, there's reports that came out that anonymous sources in the locker room say that MJF has been distant in the back and he used to be socializing with people, but now he's off to himself. Do you think, taking that little thing into consideration, do you think Tony and Maxwell Jacob Friedman have it in them to be like, okay, look, when you're backstage, I want you to act disgruntled. I want you to work the workers. Is that a possibility? Or are we just being fucking pro wrestling fans saying everything's a work?
Let's put it this way. I think MJF absolutely could do it. But here's the thing that kind of makes me wonder. You don't hear leaks coming from backstage at AEW usually. Now all of a sudden, this is what's leaking out.
Who's leaking it though?
That's what I mean. There's never leaks. So is it Tony Khan saying, "Hey, somebody go tell somebody"? Let it.
The whole reputation of there's never leaks was when this roster and company was a lot smaller.
That's true.
Well, this AEW locker room is not the same.
You have guys back there not on contract that probably don't.
Plus, that reputation was built out of the Brody Lee, them keeping that under wraps. But we have to remember when that Brody Lee tragedy went down, it was a much smaller roster and it was much more contained because they were in Daly's place where everything was fucking locked down.
Nobody can hear shit.
Yeah, this is a totally different world.
Yeah, I do think, back to your question, yes, I do think MJF has it in him. And I don't think he cares what the other people think back there if he did it to help play to the story. I think he's that good at what he does.
What do you think, Sneed? I know Sneed's pretty pretty hot about this topic and hearing people say it's a shoot, and
it just kills me, man. Like, you're getting worked, bro. You're getting worked. It's MJF. If anybody's going to be able to do it, it's him. I've witnessed it firsthand. I'll say it 100 times. He kept kayfabe in a parking lot of a pizza place with just 2 people out there.
Yeah, he didn't have to put the show on for anyone. He could have easily just been a good guy.
There was nobody out there. Nobody. Me and Hawk sitting. I didn't even see him. Hawk's the one that saw him, and Hawk just stood up and he held off on him.
Yeah.
Hawk didn't say a word and he held off on him. That's why I if he's going to do that, why would he not do it to the people in the back?
The thing that riles me up the most is when you hear people reference interviews MJF's given. Well, why I saw him on Chris Van Fleet, or I saw him on Fightful, and I saw him on Wrestling, and he said this, that, and the other. It's like, dude, he's in fucking. The dude is never not in character. His entire
100%.
career,
everything
ever.
he does is in character. My favorite thing is the reports that come out. Nothing makes me laugh more than reports that come out of MJF is doing this, and then they booked the flight, but he's always been on the sheet for the mat. They haven't taken that off.
Here is a microcosm of the unreliability of dirt sheets right now. Is like yesterday, it was all the top dogs were saying, he's not going to LA. They're going to give him time off, and
they took him out on a stretcher, so they've written him off.
They've written him off TV. He's going to be gone for a while, and then today it's announced we hear from MJF on Dynamite tonight. So it's like, dude, you don't even know what the fuck is going on. You're trying to make reports. You're trying to do. This is them. This is a dirt sheets bread and butter. Put that clickbaity shit out that marks like us will click on and fucking read, and they're doing it to a T right now.
You're talking about a guy who went to a Toys for Tot fundraiser and charged people $20 each to take a photo with him when nobody else was doing that.
And 40 for an autograph. Yeah.
Put the money in his pocket.
Yeah,
put it in his pocket. Now,
Good.
what he did, if he gave it to Brian or whatever he did with it afterwards, who knows?
And you can't lean on he's just a shitty guy, because throughout time, if you've listened to a lot of podcasts with the right people, Brian Myers has let it slip on multiple occasions that he is a great dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've heard that. So this is a act.
One of my favorite videos was Brian was
downstairs in the basement
at VSK's house.
Yep.
And they're downstairs filming figures. MJF comes down talking. That he puts the camera on him. MJF scowls, turns, and goes up the steps.
He didn't realize he was taping, and when he came down, his whole demeanor was different.
Yeah.
He had kind of a happy look on his face, and as soon as he spotted that camera, he was like, out. Loved it.
The closest thing we've seen to the real MJF was on the Cody Rhodes. Was it Rhodes to the Top show? Where
he was being kind of an asshole.
But there was a part where he was just watching a video monitor smiling, and that's the closest thing we've seen to him breaking character.
Right.
Yeah.
The best thing you'll see of him being a real guy is his last match at Creative Pro. At the last match he did at Creative Pro, he cut a promo in the ring after it was over, and that was the most real thing that I've heard him do.
You know what you could compare him to? You could compare him to The Undertaker, not breaking character.
Yeah.
100%. That's a fucking solid comparison.
That's a solid comparison, Tom.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
What do you think? What do you think, Mike? What's your take on the whole situation?
Work. I think he's doing it so fucking smoothly. And listen, the people backstage don't need to be all in on it. Not everybody's MJF's buddy. Max Caster's probably in on that shit. And Max Caster's just like, let it go.
Those Cap guys, though, those Cap guys have been in on it since fucking day one.
Yeah,
they've been selling this guy as an asshole,
and they love it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's one of those things you're not gonna break that fucking wall down. Nobody's gonna get there was reports. Oh, he was gambling in the casino. MJF would be like, I don't fucking gamble at the Mandalay Bay. I'm going to the Bellagio. That's
Here's the
into the
thing.
high roller room.
Yeah,
Nobody's
fucking
gonna see
guy.
me.
When that came out, because the whole thing, he missed I love that. First of all, I love that it all started over him just no showing a meet and greet.
Yeah.
Like, this
Jericho
whole
no
thing,
showed a meet and greet.
I was there for that. I walked in and there's a cardboard cutout of Jericho, and he didn't show up.
and that was when he was a heel world champion.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
no, it was before. That
the
was
world champion.
That was at Double or Nothing,
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah.
And but I love that it. First of all, it started from a not showing up for a meet and greet. Then they say that, well, while that's going on, he's playing slots at Mandalay. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You think he's gonna no show a meet and greet and sit and play penny slots at the Mandalay? Come on. You think he's playing hot diggity dog for a fucking penny? No.
The guy from the fucking pizzeria in Chicago has a ticket. I'm not showing up. I don't want to see him.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's fucking, it's stupid. And then, like, I forgot where I was gonna go with it, but there was lots of mishaps during that fan fest. It was not just MJF.
MJF is playing Emerald Mermaids.
Like,
And here's
For a
the
penny.
thing: if this is all to say, like, I do think they're taking a real life shoot situation and making it a work.
oh, they're making it good.
But with all that being said, if Tony Khan doesn't come correct with the money and Vince McMahon does, the motherfucker's gone. I think he will chase the bag. That's what, they're prize fighters for, in a sense, like, you're going after the money. I just don't see Tony Khan
He ain't
not
going
paying
nowhere,
him,
man.
like,
No.
He
Anywhere.
ain't going
That's-
nowhere. He's
that's-
already paid
In
it.
interviews in the very beginning that he was AEW for life. He loved it there. They do things right. People forget about those interviews.
at 100%, Tom, 100%. And I
Yeah.
think this is all ramping up. I know Marco had said something about how Tony Khan being so in on Punk, in that press conference, you can see that he is all in on Punk. Like he thinks, like, the correlation of that with MJF being kind of disgruntled, seeing a future star, a big star come in like Punk and get all of this respect from the owner, and here you are busting your ass week to week. He drew kind of a correlation between those two. My only pushback to that is, dude, I think Punk and MJF are thick as thieves.
Yeah.
I think, like, that program, the dog collar match, like, he was taking so much stuff from his fandom of Punk and putting it into his work in that program. And I think we're seeing that right now.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing him take that fucking summer of Punk 2011 when he stole the title and the pipe bomb and all of that shit. I think we're seeing that right now, kind of biting on that a little bit with MJF. I think he's taking a little bit of that Punk 2011 pipe bomb era, and he's taking a little bit of that Brian Pillman WCW blurring the lines era, and he's wrapping it up in his own MJF creativity.
He's a student of the fucking art.
Man.
And he is he's a professional of being a student of the art. Nobody does it better than MJF.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to see anybody do it better than MJF in a long fucking time.
I agree 100%.
That program of Punk, that was his love letter to his fandom for Punk.
Yep.
And you don't think Punk did not respect that? Obviously, they were working together for a fucking reason. They did a dog collar match. They fucking, Punk came out to AFI because that was for MJF. Here's your moment, buddy. Fucking drink it in, man. Enjoy it. Make some shit happen afterwards. And I think that's what he's doing.
I've never seen more growth from MJF that you can directly relate to two men. Like, since he's entered this company, when I think of MJF and the level he's raised to and how much he's improved, I think of two men, and it's Jericho and Punk. Like, his programs with those two guys have done so much for him, being a creative, not just a wrestler, but someone who brings his own creativity to what he does.
Yeah. Say what you want about the musical. The musical was like,
It's great.
If you watch the carpool karaoke shit with him,
Oh,
it's fucking
great.
unbelievable, man.
It
It's so good. But he's like, he gets
where he's singing reluctantly singing DMX with Bill Hobbs and Ruby.
That was hilarious.
Let's just say, let me play fantasy booker for 1 second. The last thing I'm going to say, let's imagine next year MJF's contract's getting close to expiring, and he's getting that shot against CM Punk, and he's threatening to beat CM Punk for the title and walk out and go to WWE with it.
That's what I've been saying. That's what you do. You have him lose it you have Punk drop the title to MJF at either All Out, but if it was my booking, you stretch it to the absolute limit. You put All Out in another city, not Chicago. Put Full Gear in Chicago because that's November. You take it right to the fucking brink. You have him beat CM Punk in Chicago at Full Gear, and then a month later his contract's up, and play that into the story.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move to our round robin, but I got one quick round robin with this. Real quick, work or shoot? Work. Sweet.
Work.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the round robin before we get out of here. Chad's got a round robin question, and it's the same thing. Real quick.
All right, will Wardlow be a transcendent star for AEW? And when I say transcendent, I mean bigger than pro wrestling. Like, could he become I shouldn't say bigger than pro wrestling, but could he become a Batista, Rock level performer for AEW? Could he be a guy that breaks them through to another level? Or is he just going to be a really popular guy on the roster?
Yes.
Yes, I put my sunglasses on because that motherfucker's future is brighter than the goddamn sun. I could see him doing fucking movies, TV. He's well spoken, well dressed, looks like $1 million. This program has been nothing but shining that star on Wardlow. I think he is the talent, the athleticism. This guy could go fucking play rugby and make a fucking make something out of rugby out of it. I think sorry to Chris Metzger, he's a fucking rugby coach. Yeah, but like no, I think Wardlow has star written all over him, and this past couple months have just made it more and more apparent. And I heard a lot of people comparing him to Goldberg, and it was like, just because he's walking out with security guards does not make him fucking Goldberg. The guy can actually get in the ring and work. The guy can fucking treat people well, who looks like $1 million. It was great. And being there for the handcuff rip in the cage match, it was fucking like, as a wrestling fan, that's orgasmic. You're like, yes, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
What do you think, Tom?
I say no, but I hope he proves me wrong.
I say yes. I think he'll be bigger than just a very popular guy on the roster. I think he'll win multiple titles, and I do think he's going to be kind of shadowing his career after the guy, his hero, Dave Batista. I think eventually we do see Wardlow pop up in an action movie.
Yeah,
he's got the look. He's a good-looking dude. He's built like a brick shithouse. He's good at what he does, but I think he loves pro wrestling a little more than Batista. I think he's going to be a life in the pro wrestling business.
I mean, I do agree he's going to be a monster wrestling star. I don't see him going beyond that.
All right, guys. Well, make sure you guys follow us at the turnbuckletavern.com. You can find everything Tavern, Fig Night, links to everything. Make sure you guys are following it. And that's going to wrap us up for this edition of the Turnbuckle Debate. Should have got all my plugs in there, but I guess I'll give Tom. Tom, get your shit in.
The OG Fig on Twitter and Instagram. Turnbuckle Sessions every Friday with this guy, Mike Belcaster.
What's going on this week?
We're going to be recapping Mike's trip to Vegas and talking about Double or Nothing.
Sweet. All right, guys. The turnbuckletavern.com. Court is dismissed.